So I will start in three, two, one. So a good evening to all of you. I'm Paula Colleen Salvatierra. I'm from the Philippines, and I'm here today to present to all of you my study entitled Vitex negundo as one of the potential treatments for COVID-19, a bioinformatic approach. So for the background of the study, the coronavirus disease, or COVID-19, is a contagious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus, which is the severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2 or SARS-CoV-2. So what are coronaviruses? Coronaviruses are a large family of viruses that usually cause mild to moderate upper respiratory tract illnesses like the common cold. However, three new coronaviruses have emerged from animal reservoirs over the past 2 decades to cause serious and widespread illness and death. It was first discovered in Wuhan, China in December 2019, and has since then led to a global pandemic, which, according to worldometers.info, has affected 220 countries and territories and has led to 230 million confirmed cases and 4.7 million deaths as of September 24, 2021. So the challenge to combat this pandemic is still ongoing, with a lot of countries still facing its repercussions. Vitex negundo is a medicinal plant that is widely used in the Philippines and has been clinically tested to be effective in the treatment of colds, flu, bronchial asthma, chronic bronchitis, and pharyngitis. It is also widely used as medicine in South and Southeast Asia. So, why Vitex negundo? Vitex negundo is widely used for the treatment of various respiratory diseases, as mentioned earlier, such as the flu, colds, asthma, and bronchitis. Since COVID-19 is a respiratory disease which exhibits about the similar symptoms as the aforementioned diseases, this medicinal plant may prove helpful. So what is the problem? While we know that there already are vaccines available, it's still largely inaccessible, especially in underdeveloped and developing countries such as the Philippines. So in the Philippines, the COVID-19 situation is not getting any better, and the country has been imposing lockdowns for more than a year now, with more and more cases getting recorded every day. The highest recorded number of new daily cases this month is 26,238 last September 12, 2021, while only 18% of the population is vaccinated. Moreover, people don't get properly treated because of the lack of hospital beds and resources. So with this in mind, the researcher aims to gather information about phytochemicals from Vitex negundo that could help serve as an alternative in the treatment of COVID-19. So for the method of the study, two data sources were used, namely Protein Data Bank and PubChem. And for the methods, first, the PDB model of the COVID-19 spike protein was downloaded from the Protein Data Bank. Then the phytochemical compounds was assessed on PubChem, phytochemical compounds from Vitex negundo. And then the binding site was located on the PDB model of the coronavirus disease. And then ligand and protein preparation was done to ensure that molecular docking will run smoothly. And then molecular docking was performed through the MQ website, which is a free platform to do molecular docking on the internet. So here are the results of this analyzing the results was the last step. And a more negative docking score means a higher binding affinity of the phytochemical compounds to the virus. So here are the results of the study. We can see that the docking scores of each of the enzymes vary depending on the site they are attached to. So the data gathered shows that Vitexin has the highest binding affinity across the 3 binding sites among the 12 enzymes examined. This is followed by luteolin and isoorientin. This means that among the 12 enzymes, Vitexin, luteolin, and isoorientin are the most probable compounds that can be helpful for inhibiting SARS-CoV-2. So the researcher therefore concludes that based on the results of the present study, Vitex negundo can be a potential source of compounds that may aid in the treatment of COVID-19. The molecular docking performed has shown that the compounds can communicate with the important amino acids present in the spike protein of the SARS-CoV-2, which can help prevent the activation of the said virus. Certainly, there is still a lot of work to be done. There were a lot of hindrances to performing this research, and so having the ability to research more about this beyond just molecular docking would allow us to come to a more definite conclusion as to the potential of Vitex negundo in treating COVID-19. Still, it is to note that more research about Vitex negundo, along with other medicinal plants and their potential use for the treatment of COVID-19 and other diseases, would be greatly helpful for the advancement of scientific knowledge. So these are the references, and Thank you. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula, just on time. And now it is 5 minutes Q&A time. Okay. And this time I would like to invite Chick for the first question, please.
Sure. Excellent presentation. And since I'm a scientist chemist, I love the science behind all this. I'm curious, where did your interest for science come from? Because you really dug deep, and I'm just curious, what got you excited about all this?
I'm actually from a science high school in the Philippines. It's called Philippine Science High School. And so we're really focused on like STEM research. So we're focused on performing research in the more on the biology, chemistry, and physics field. And personally, I'm most interested in biology and chemistry. And so when I was given the chance to participate in the Bioinformatics Challenge, I really wanted to pursue a research that was aligned with my passion for the sciences. And so bearing in mind the situation that the Philippines is facing, I was able to come up with this research topic. And yeah, basically that's it.
Okay, that's great. Bravo.
Thank you, Chick, and thank you, Paula. And Celeste, can you ask for the second question? Celeste?
Just want to unmute. Thank you, Paula, for that very fine presentation and your impressive research. One assumed, were you personally involved in this research, or is it research that you've only accessed from Dr. Google, shall we say?
I performed this in silico research during the Bioinformatics Challenge last August, and I had the help of a mentor from one of the bioinformatics organizations in Indonesia. So that was how I was able to pursue the research.
Well, thank you very much for that. I would like to just go on to a more practical situation. Where is this grown? Is it a herb? How do you take it?
Actually,
is it an injection, a vaccine?
All right, thank you so much for that question. Actually, this plant is grown locally in the Philippines and other regions in Southeast Asia as well. And so it's a plant, we call it as lagundi here in the Philippines. It's really just common and can be found in almost all of the garden here all of the gardens here at the homes in the Philippines. And so there's not much hassle in growing this plant.
Okay, and has anybody gone beyond your research, in the sense that are they using it to combat COVID?
As of right now, there has been no reports of Vitex negundo or lagundi being used to battle COVID, but there have been similar researchers that have proposed that it does have a potential in battling COVID-19, although because of the financial limitations and the limitations when it comes to the resources in the Philippines on scientific research, we're not very invested on that aspect yet. And so scientific research in the Philippines is a bit limited, and so we're not able to expand more on our options yet. And we're just using the solutions presented by most of the how should I say this, first world countries per se.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ting.
Yeah, thank you. So, Pallavi, may I invite you for the last question?
Yes, is my voice audible? Yes. What value you are adding to this innovation? Can you explain? This is really a very interesting innovation. What value you are adding?
I'm so sorry, they're a bit unclear on my end. I'm not sure if I can hear them clearly.
Yeah, or is there anyone can help with this question? If you hear that clearly, you got the question. Is there anyone?
Can I repeat? Again? Yes, what value you are adding to this innovation? by this innovation? What value you are adding by this innovation?
She's asking
think
what
this-
value you're adding by having this innovation.
All right. So I think this study is mainly focused on just contributing to the body of knowledge in science, because there's always something new to discover, and especially with the current situation of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's really a need to go beyond just the conventional research and conventional methods that we're used to, conventional resources, because there are a lot of resources available out there, especially in countries like the Philippines, which is a mega diverse and a really biodiverse country. And so it's important that we explore the potential of these natural resources in helping us combat problems such as the pandemic. And so I think this is where my research, my study really adds value to. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pallavi. Thank you, Paula. And thank you, Ranjit, for the question.